Hello, my name is Monica Iglesias, and today I would like to share with you this principle of invest in the children. Invest in the children because they are the future of our nation and our world. They're the future leaders. They're the future entrepreneurs. They are the future. We have the tendency to control kids and try to tell them what to do, micromanage them, making their decisions for them. But when we're doing that, we are not serving them at all. In fact, you're not even serving yourself at all. You're not serving your future, because what we're getting is we're getting a society of laziness, of blame, of victimhood, of lying, cheating, all this stuff because the people are afraid to get in trouble, so they lie. They are always constantly being told what to do, so when nobody's there telling them what to do, they don't know what to do, so they just sit on the couch and play video games, right? Because then the video games tell them what they need to do, right? So they're looking for the next person to tell them what to do. And a lot of kids are getting in this space where they're just like, I'm bored. I'm bored. Have you ever heard that? I'm bored. I'm bored because nobody's there telling me what I need to be doing. And if they told me what I needed to do, I'd do it with a bad attitude because I really don't want to do it, right? But I got to do it because they told me I got to do it, you know. So this is the problem in our society right now. But if we continue this, scenario, what's going to happen when those kids grow up and become parents? What's going to happen then? You know, and we're just creating this what do you call it, dysfunction of a society by how we are treating our children today. So we invest in a lot of things in our lives. We invest in money, in things. There's real estate investing. There's all sorts of investments that we make, investments in ourselves, in our education, and things like that. But we're not investing in the children. A lot of times we're neglecting the children. We're too busy working, two parents at work. You know, you got the father at work, the mother at work, and the child somewhere else. And then when you do get together, it's like, oh, I just need to relax and go to bed. And watch a movie and go to bed, okay? And then what's happening with the children? I mean, they're occupying their time. They will. And it may not be productive, or it may not even be worthwhile. Anyway, I'm sure you can come up with a lot of the things yourselves. But sometimes I get a lot of thoughts going on at the same time. So please forgive me if I don't quite finish one thought. I'm assuming you'll finish it for me, right? You get where I'm going, and I don't need to finish it, so you can finish it. If you have a problem with that, please let me know, and I will make sure I finish my thought before I go on to the next one, okay? Okay, so I learned this concept from a powerful mentor in my life. First of all, before I go into this principle, I want to tell you the power of mentors. We get going in our lives, and we all come, we're on a road, we're on a path, right? We all come to the end of our knowledge of what we are capable of. And then here's a little sign that says, under construction, okay? We get to this path and we're like, I don't know where to go from there, so I'm just going to keep going back and forth on this road of what I know. What I found in my life is that mentors and trainings have helped build this road beyond what I could possibly see and imagine at the time. So I'm so grateful for the mentors in my life. And a very powerful mentor, Brandon Broadwater, he taught me, well, other people have taught me the principle of the pendulum, but he draws it like this. And he shares a very powerful principle about investment. And I've known that in order to get something back, you've got to put something into it. If you want love back, you put love into it. If you want service back, you put service into it. If you want money back, you put money into it. And so there's this concept and this principle of investment, but he shares it like a pendulum. One direction is the action, and the other direction is your result. Okay, Okay, so this will be the physical action, and then you'll get the intangibles, okay? So it'll swing back this direction. All right, so when we're talking about investing in children, there's actually 3 things that I have found in my life that are just so valuable to invest in children so that you can get what you're really seeking for. Most people are seeking for love, honor, respect. But instead of telling a child, you need to honor your parents, you need to respect your parents, you need to love them, and telling them what to do, there are some things that you can do and show up in their life in a certain way in order to get these things. We want them to be obedient, right? We want them to do what we tell them to do, but this obedience is not do this because I said so. This obedience is more that you ask them to do something and they do it because they love you and they respect you. How would that feel instead of obligating them to be obedient? Okay, there's a very different feeling there. Because my kids, they will do what I ask them to do, but I tell them, please don't be obedient. Don't do it because you feel obligated to. Please share with me if this doesn't work for you. But if you would do this, it would be absolutely amazing. And most of the time they do it just because they love me. I don't know why, but they love me. And so they do it. They're like, it's an honor to do that for you. And I'm just like, oh, thank you. You know, it's really exciting to get those kind of results. Would you like to know how you can get those kind of results without forcing them? That's what I'm going to talk to you about today. All right? 3 things that you can invest in children that can change your life forever. And it can also empower the child beyond what you think that they are capable of, okay? The first one, you are very familiar with this, and every parent has it, okay? Every parent has it and does it to some degree. And this is love, okay? Every parent loves their child, right? It's just a given. You love them to some degree. But not every child feels the love their parent has for them. Let me just give you an example of my experience. My experience was I would get a beating, and I would hear the words, I love you, after a beating. And the words usually came with, we do this because we love you. And I remember thinking, if this is love, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I swore off love. No, what I did is I created this huge wall around my heart, and I didn't let anybody in, and I didn't let myself out to experience what true love was for a very, very, very long time. This affected my relationships. This affected my life. It affected my view of myself, had a really poor self-esteem, and love was a very distorted view for me. Now, parents, do you love your kids? Absolutely. But sometimes that love feels, as a mentor once said, feels like a fire hose. I hope you got some of that, you know? And it's just like blaring all over the place. The parents, they love their kids, so they want to protect them, control them because they know better. They know what that possibly can, what the consequences of that choice can have on them, so they control them and, you know, instead of allowing them to experience their own stuff, okay? And the consequences of their own choices. So they love their kids, right? But it's more like a fire hose instead of, let me deliver that love in a way that you can receive it. Let me put that water in a cup and let you receive it in the amounts that you can take in and in a way that you will receive it. So there are different ways that we can deliver that love. And what I offer is an upgraded experience with this in teaching skills of influence and ways to deliver that love so that the child can feel it. And they can feel empowered by your love instead of controlled by your love, and not wanting to have anything to do with you or your love, okay? So they're very, very powerful principle to invest in your child or invest in children in general. The second one is something you're already doing to some degree, like I said, but I'm just offering an upgraded experience. Time. Investing time in children. Does that mean you have to spend every waking hour with your child? No, they will get so sick of you and they'll say, get away from me, okay? It actually only requires about 15 minutes a day. Kids, they like to go off and play and do their own thing. Sure, would they like to play with you? Sure, if that works for you. And if you're joyful with it as well, they would love that experience. But it doesn't require a whole lot. But in that 15 minutes a day, there are things that you can do to really deliver that love and let the child know how much you mean to them. And it does not mean that you're sitting on the couch watching a movie together, because you're not sharing that quality time. It doesn't mean that you're in their space and they're talking to you and you're on your cell phone texting somebody else and you're not being present in that moment. It doesn't mean they're trying to talk and tell you something and you're thinking about work or you're thinking about something else. They know. These kids, they can see right through you and they can know that that connection is not there. So spending that time and being able to create that quality connection, it only takes a little bit of time, but it's knowing how to create it that is so important. And these are some things that I offer to teach in my Empowered Teacher online training course. So if it's something that you would like an upgraded experience, you can come and join me in this course. The third one is also something you're probably already doing. You're teaching powerful principles. Most people, however, let me get this down here. Most people, however, are teaching telling the powerful principles. That means they are saying, you need to be doing this and this and this and this and this, and their kid comes home from a challenging day at school, and they tell you their challenge, and then you tell them their answer. You tell them, oh yeah, you should just do this and this and this, and you're telling them how they should run their life. And they're hearing you when it's going in one ear and out the other. And if you ever heard the phrase, I've told you a million times, but I told you that. I told you you could do that, and then they don't do it, you know. And it's because it's not sinking in. There is a way to teach powerful principles and guide them to the powerful principles without telling them. And that is through some quality questions. I'm going to give you an example how I guided my daughter to the golden rule without telling her the golden rule. Let me share this with you. I'm in the office one day working at the computer, and I hear my youngest daughter, I think she was maybe 4 years old at the time, and she's telling her older sister, I hate you because you won. Or no, it wasn't I hate you, I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you because you won. They're playing a game of Connect 4, her sister wins, and she's now upset. She is playing the poor sport. Have you ever heard of that, the poor sport? Okay, so I could have easily said, Kaylee, stop doing that. Don't act like that. You need to act like this, like that. And how many times would I need to tell her that? Over and over and over again for the rest of her life, right? But no, I did not do that. I was like, learning experience, so teaching time or teaching moment, let's go. So I go in there and she's on the floor, right? She's upset, she's crying in her hands. And I lay down on the floor next to her and I said, Kaylee, what are you experiencing? And she's like, I'm mad at Beza because she won. So she tells me that. And then I proceeded to ask her some questions to guide her through this process of learning this powerful principle. And what I did was I asked her, how would you feel if you won and your sister acted like this. And she thought for a moment. She said, sad. I feel sad. And then I said, well, if you won, how would you want your sister to act if you won? Well, I'd want her to say, good job, and give me a hug. And so I said, well, is that something you could do? How would you feel if she did that? And she's like, I would feel happy, you know. But she's still kind of in this sad space. But I asked her, would you like to act it out? You know, would you like to try it? Try to do it that way? And she was kind of still in a sad space, so I honored that. And I said, would you like to do it now or in a little bit? And she said, in a little bit. So she had a choice. She wasn't quite ready to do it then, but she did it in a little bit. Why? So I come back 5 minutes later. It really wasn't longer, very much longer, but 5 minutes later I come in. Are you ready to create celebration? You know, we did talk about that it was creating celebration instead of creating, you know, what she was creating, the poor sport attitude. So I came in there, and are you ready to create celebration? And of course, I'm exuding this celebration from myself, right? And she goes, yeah, she's ready to do it now. So we reenacted the last little token, whatever, that she puts in the Connect 4 thing, where Beza wins. So Beza puts in the last token, and the next thing you know, Beza's Kaylee, my youngest one, she's like, yay, good job, Beza! And she runs around and she gives her a hug from her back, and she's like, good job! I'm so proud of you. And that took maybe 15 minutes, probably more like 10. But even if it took 15 minutes, guess what? I never had to tell Kaylee to create celebration again. I never had problems with her being the poor sport. She did have moments when she would go into that space and I would simply ask a question, what are you creating? And she said, or what do you choose to create? And she's like, celebration. And she would shift her attitude and create celebration. And 2 years later, okay, I went through a physical transformation. I entered a contest. I lost about 40 pounds and got healthy in my body. You know, I was creating health in my body. And we were going to be presented. They were going to present the winners, right? But they were going to present everybody that had entered this contest and honor them, celebrate them, and everything. Well, there was a possibility that I could have won $5,000 in this contest, right? But I found out the night before that I wasn't in the top 3. That I was still going to be honored that day, but I wasn't in the top 3. So I broke the news to the kids, and I was still in that aspect of, or that mode of creating celebration too. Because I was like, I don't have to be sad. And I told my kids, we don't have to be sad for that I didn't win, but we can be happy and celebrate those people who did. And my daughter comes up to me, Kaylee, the youngest one. She comes up to me and she gives me a big hug and she says, it's okay, Mommy. You can celebrate your body and your health. And I was just blown away by this. That 15 minutes, 2 years prior, came back through this child, that she understands creating celebration not only for her, but for everyone around her. And now when people win, she is not the poor sport. She does not say, poor me. She celebrates the win of everybody around her. Wow, wow, wow. And she doesn't even know the word, the golden rule, probably. But that golden rule was do unto others as you'd have them do unto you, right? Treat others how you want to be treated. But instead of telling her this phrase that she may not even understand what it means, I just asked her the questions and it brought it out from within her. So, 3 things to invest in children: love, time, and powerful principles. These 3 things will change your life forever. Will empower a child beyond your possible imagination. Empower them with these things, and I teach the skills of influence, what you can do in that 15 minutes to create this lasting bond and for a child to really know that you love them, and how to guide a child to these powerful principles. What are the powerful principles that can truly affect their lives forever and help them govern themselves? Teach them powerful principles so that they can govern themselves, and you as a parent or a teacher do not have to be there to micromanage every little decision they make in their life. How would you like that? Well, I look forward to sharing this with you, and come join me. Come join me in my Empowered Teacher online training course. You can check it out at MonicaIglesiasAuthor.com, and I look forward to connecting with you then.